Hello. Another aha moment. How are you doing? Thanks for your time. I am here to share some news regarding overturning of Roe versus Wade. What I call sensible advice. It was a bit disturbing to hear that the Roe v. Wade of 49 plus years has now been overturned, depriving women of rights to basic healthcare services. I was going through some of my write-ups that I did in 1993, and I found this, a collegian newspaper by Los Angeles City College. I wrote a few articles when I was a student there, journalism student in 1993, and one of them, I made a photocopy of it, was titled Abortion is a Necessary Evil and Maryland Leads the Fight for It. This was in 1993. So what I'd like to do is to share excerpts from what I had talked about at that time, and then my view on Roe v. Wade being overturned, and like I said, what I call sensible advice on how best to stay safe and be preventive. In theory, we seek a world of unity out of diversity, but in practice, it is pure individualism. Mark that word. From living cell to dying corpse, everyone carries his or her own burden. The rich and famous break bounds to keep life a pleasant continuum, while the poor kneel at their mercy for survival. As the margin expands, the affluent are riding higher, and the poor are almost down the drain. From this general perspective, I recognize and also stand with those who are against the overturning of Roe v. Wade. However, brace yourself. As a Christian fundamentalist, I have no doubt that fetus is a person and should be treated with love and care. But contemporary times dictate the pace. For instance, economically, not everyone, not every person can afford the physical needs of life, not to mention such a person or couple expecting a dependent child or expecting a pregnancy that wasn't planned. No, I rephrase that. A woman expecting a baby that she did not plan for. This perpetuates the cycle of poverty, and that's why people have to plan for these things. Socially, some women, some families, some couple have planned well, very well as a matter of fact. However, there are those who did not, but still wants to have fun. After all, sex is free and it's everywhere. It's ubiquitous, the way we live now. But the resultant of that is a bulging stomach, an unexpected pregnancy for some. That is also complicated with lack of education and complex lifestyle, and this is what keeps some of these women going in and out of abortion clinics for help. Unfortunately, in almost 26 states, possibly there will be no more abortion clinics in those states. What do they do? We'll get there in a moment. Back to the reading. Now, the majority of the women that contemplate abortion either do not want the child, did not prevent the pregnancy, or probably do not have the means to do so before having sex. Some don't even understand their own biology, even though they may have taken health science classes at some stage of their life. So in the face of this reality, they will often do anything to seek out a quack, including facing death or alternatively abandoning the child after birth. The subject of abortion has been slammed and rescued again and again. So the recent overturning of Roe v. Wade, after almost 49 years, It's just one of those processes that has been taking place over the years. Opponents of abortion have argued for the independence of the fetus as a right to life. However, we recall some aspects of social dealings with which we have various attitudes. War, politics, poverty, racism, discrimination, religious beliefs, gun ownership or gun control. We translate these into values and even into laws, sometimes violating the message of the First Amendment under the Bill of Rights. Now, studies have shown that abortion opinions are best predicted by our opinions on sex and family issues, not on lifestyles, not on life issues. The general taste is aesthetic and often power-based control. In the words of Martin Luther King, we have guided missiles and misguided men, and I'll add women. Therefore, where lies the moral we seem to preach when it comes to abortion, especially? That said, I'd like to also mention the statistics recorded by Guttmacher Institute. In 1950 and 1960, they wrote 2,000 to 1.2 million illegal abortions were performed annually. And in the process, hundreds of women died every year trying to have abortion through stifle induction or back alley abortion by unprofessionals. Some of them have to drop everything, travel by road in a precarious situation, or fly long distances to get abortion. And while some may travel by road or fly, they have to consider accommodation where they're going. These are all expense that the average Joe, the average Jane cannot afford. I think the overturning of Roe V. Wade strongly deepens the root of racial divide that's already between the classes, the rich, the poor, the black, the white, the marginalized folks. And who suffers? People and fetus, especially women, will die trying to live, just like they did pre-Roe versus Wade, as I just mentioned from the Guttmacher Institute recording. Now, to compound all this, one of the justices did say, Supreme Court justices did say, that next on their agenda to consider is the law that protects contraceptives and same-sex marriage. Recall Griswold versus Connecticut in 1965. The law allows married couples to buy and use contraceptives. And they also want to do away with that? Wow. Sounds like 50 steps forward and 500 steps backward. Indeed. The big cat is away and the mice is about to play. The big cat, meaning the federal government that had protected the law that allows women to have the basic health care, one of the basic health care needed. It's gone. And now the states are coming up with their own laws. It's time to get back to accountability and responsibility, folks. As they say, prevention is always better than cure. So, with sex being everywhere, ubiquitous, more than it was in the 1800s, because of course marriage is no longer something most people look forward to. It should, don't get me wrong. I'm all for marriage. I still believe in it. But it's so watered down that thoughts of that, it's so remote. That is why by the time Lou Rawls is saying you'll never find, or sexual healing by Marvin Gaye is playing, people are ready with whoever it is they're entangled with to get it going, to let go, not minding, not considering the consequence down the line. It's time to do a rethink and take better care of yourselves. So I beg that our men should please consider the two options of preventive reproduction that's available to them, which is condom or vasectomy. There is nothing wrong with using a condom with your woman. It prevents her, it prevents you, not only from being pregnant, but from STDs. For those who feel it's beneath them, please reconsider, especially if you live in states. Even if you don't live in states, if we can have our fun and prevent pregnancy and also prevent abortion, why not? You can eat your cake and have it. And for our ladies, there are more than 14 options available to us when it comes to reproduction. Options of to prevent pregnancy. I mean, some of them are later in the game, but you want to familiarize yourself with the early ones, like your Plan B and morning pills, or some of the other pills, and also diaphragm, if it's still available. I'm sorry, I'm going to do a video on this one, go into the various methods we have in preventing pregnancies, because that, to me, that is where that is where we need to work on in order to avoid being in trouble. Having said that, I'm hoping that those who have things recorded on their phone, pregnancy apps, depending on what state you live in, I would advise that you have a rethink on what you have on your phone regarding that, because you don't know who is watching. This is a very serious issue, and many states are coming up with restrictions that can just get you in trouble even before considering if you want to keep the baby or not, depending on what conversations you're having. So please be mindful of what it is that's being recorded anywhere. Do it manually. We did these things manually before the advent of phone. And most of all, consult your doctor if you are in doubt of what might be happening to you after your fun night or fun evening, fun day, whatever time it is that you had your fun. There are ways that we can help ourselves. Prevention is better than cure. I having volunteered in a pregnancy counseling center, I just know that these things can be dealt with, can be handled without more lives on the line. It's going to get dark before it gets brighter as things are going. But we can do this if we are protective of one another and mindful of what how we have our fun. That is my 2 cents on what recently happened with Roe V. Wade. And I know that, again, the story of abortion and control is ongoing. So I don't think this is the last of the story. There's going to be more coming. So the struggle continues. And I hope to make some more videos regarding prevention, and also a video on decriminalization of abortion to decrease maternal mortality, because I was actually focused on this when I did my doctoral project from Albany Medical College, but that was the focus was on Nigeria at the time, and now this is happening right in my domain where I live, and people are saying, so what do you say to that? I'm shocked, I must say. It shouldn't be a surprise, but I am shocked, because I thought common sense will prevail. And the way we live now should dictate how we handle what is the solution to current problems. It's insanity to think that shutting things down is going to reverse or is going to correct whatever the mistakes are. So, to the young, long life and prosperity, and to the seasoned, good health and treasure. A luta continua, the struggle continues. Thank you for watching.